when this happened, we thought Wigan had the title wrapped up. Tuesday night was their night.
An easy one for Ackerman to take, and Preston intercepts, and Preston might well be a scorer of another Wigan try here. Phil Ford goes across, they won't stop him! That Preston's second.
Then this happened. Wigan wobbled. We wondered. A Good Friday massacre at Knowsley Road. And 3 hours later, this happened. Leeds were still in the hunt.
Carl Gibson looking to find a way down the middle, and Carl Gibson can shift. Fox can't stop him. Still Gibson. Lovely ball inside, and Gary Schofield canters in for the score.
So, on the last afternoon of the Championship, Wigan need a point for the trophy against Leigh, who need a point to stay up. There's the top of the table. Leeds would have 38 points if they win at Castleford today, and they have a better points difference than Wigan, so Wigan need at least a draw or a win here. And what an irony. Standing in their way is Alex Murphy, once the coach here at Central Park, now in charge of a Leigh team in trouble. They need 1 point today to send Sheffield down to Division 2 in their place. Sheffield lost 32-4 at home to Hull last night, which means Featherstone are definitely safe.
You of all people coming to Wigan of all places, needing a point.
Well, it's not the nicest place in the world to come, is it? But to us, it's a game. I'll settle for the points, believe it or not, and I think Wigan will be happy with that. If we're going to win, we've not got to worry about Wigan. It's going to be a hard game. We're not going to lie down and die, and the lads are going to go out and do the best.
Well, Alex Murphy today will be looking to the skill of Ian Jeffrey. We've seen him score a terrific try on SCRUMDOWN this season. He got him a place in our try of the season competition. Results of that at the end of the programme. Today, Leigh have Ian Jeffrey at stand-off instead of in the centre. The experienced Barry Ledger switches to full-back, and young Wayne Standish comes in on the right wing. Wigan have several changes. Joe Lydon and Andy Gregory return from injury, but Bobby Goulding and Ellery Hanley are only fit enough to be substitutes. Adrian Shelford is also back, so the versatile Andy Goodway reverts from prop to loose forward.
Yeah, we put out a reasonable side today. They trained yesterday and did pretty well. We have 1 or 2 with knocks and bangs, but that's the same as every team at the end of the season.
Ellery Hanley is a substitute.
He is. He'll be brought on if necessary. Ellery's really raring to get out and go. He has an injury, but he wants the championship as much as anybody else.
So Central Park expectant for the second time in a week. A big crowd, maybe approaching 20,000 once again, have turned out in the expectation of seeing the Wigan side, with the rare sight of Ellery Hanley as substitute, lift the First Division title for only the second time since the First Division was formed. But don't forget, at Weldon Road, Castleford are playing Leeds, and Leeds too still have faint hopes of the title. Whoever wins it, you'll see it won here on SCRUMDOWN. So it's to be Alan Platt of Leigh getting the final afternoon of the championship season underway here at Central Park, and it'll be certainly a major surprise if it's anything other than a Wigan win. But Leigh, remember, are fighting for their lives. Andy Gregory back in the Wigan team, and Leigh will be glad, I think, of the kick-off and glad of the chance to have Wigan penned inside their own 25 in these opening moments of the game, because everything depends here. David Watkins alongside me on this afternoon for Wigan's First Division survival.
Well, it does. I think that everybody will realise that the form book says that Wigan must win, but you have to realise the position Wigan are in. They are going to Wembley. They are now fighting for the First Division Championship. They are ravaged with injuries, and they will think about Wembley Stadium. There's no doubt about that in every player's mind. And so Leigh have got to really go at them, because if Wigan get that point early on the board, I think they could knock the stuffing out of Leigh.
Lucas driving forwards. Shelford. Missed by Westhead, but followed by Platt and 3 colleagues. And the first penalty of the afternoon awarded to Wigan on the halfway line. Steve Hampson. We've had just about every kind of weather so far today. We've had snow, sleet, wind. Summer has returned as Lucas drives forward into the Leigh 25. Gregory again at the centre of everything. Little stroke of luck, Clark. Support from Bell. Bell can't hold it. Andy Gregory. Already, David, Andy Gregory quite clearly the key man, fit again at the centre of everything for Wigan.
Well, he will be. He'll be dictating most things, and they do run well off him. And of course, if Andy starts playing well, it does fuse the side together.
Donahue, Stevenson, bounced nicely for Hampson, but they were up on him very quickly, and Leigh are quite clearly fired up and on coming here to lie down. They're not accepting what everybody's telling them. They have no chance here, not for one moment.
No, their first division status depends entirely on this game, and you can expect some fireworks, to say the least.
Misunderstanding there, maybe a chance for Platt if he can win the race for it, playing football. It's still going loose. Hampson's back there covering, held behind his own line, was he? And if Leigh could just pinch a try here, well, they've committed the cardinal sin of giving away a penalty in the most perfect attacking position they've had so far.
Yes, they did. They should have taken more advantage of that. An uncharacteristic pass this from Andy Gregory to no one to no one in particular. It bounces in no man's land, and really it was just the flick of the ball that really lost possession for Andy Platt. But then when Hampson did pick it up, he was double tackled, and instead of getting off him straight away as they should have done, they've given him a penalty.
Shelford come back into trouble. By Dunn. Gregory tries the kick this time. It's bouncing a long way. Ledger. Taken by Jed Byrne. Very important for Leigh to keep it tight in these early stages and not to make silly mistakes. Good burst by Potter. Will be especially keen to do well against his old club. He's won a penalty which Andy Gregory didn't agree with. So well, whether he agrees or not.
I must admit it wasn't agreeable. He hung on to him then, and that was a silly thing to do, because it's difficult enough for Leigh to get out of their own 25 with the wind. It prohibits them really from kicking high and into the air to follow up, or even to touch. And what they have to do is just keep the ball, as you said, Nick, and drive forward. And of course, giving them a penalty is giving them the ball back.
And this is your party inside Wigan territory, as they've been for rather longer than many of the Wigan fans might have been expecting. Be another chance for Alan Platt this time to gain 30 yards or so, or is he going to go for goal? He's going to go for goal. Not easy this. David, you're an ex goal kicker against the wind. Pressure on him.
There is a lot of pressure on him, but if he can kick it sound, as I said in the first penalty, if he can kick it and kick it dead anyway, whether it goes over or not, it does give him the ball back again. So really it is a double chance. If it gets it and kicks it and gets the 2 points, they still have the ball back, so it's well worth taking this chance.
Looks straight enough. Leigh are in front. Alan Platt is a Leigh man, so this will mean a lot to him. So, just over a quarter now into the match. I don't think too many people would have predicted that Wigan would be behind. Crunching tackle by Ian Gildart. But Leigh driving forward with considerable determination, getting outside their own 25. Potter. to see on the other side of this, because he won the title as a Wigan player. And now, is there any support for Rapati? It arrives from Stevenson, but he can't hold on to it, and Platt will find that the ball has gone forward. And Wigan have the ball anyway. And the referee will allow play to continue. Gregory, Dean Bell comes back inside, tackled by Dunn. But a fine burst by Leigh.
Yes, it was a super burst, and this is where the defence was at its weakest, because if you notice, Phil Clark is a stand-off half. There was a gap between him and the forwards, and he took a quick tap and came right through with it. But a great tackle then by Jed Byrne, losing possession for David Stevenson.
Good burst forward by Dermot, trying to find Betson support. The ball knocked forward.
Well, Wigan aren't using the fluency they normally have, and I think that Andy Gregory has to stamp his authority. Of course, he's got Clark at stand-off half, and probably not being used to playing there. In fact, they are now changing Jed Byrne, or Dean Bell is going there, and that's interesting because everybody's having to go from acting half-back, and it's the least effective Wigan side I've seen for some time.
Might change now there with Jed Byrne, but the ankle's just caught by Ian Jeffrey. Shelford. Tackle was by Platt. The crowd trying to get behind Wigan, sensing that things aren't quite going their way. Steve Hampson, Gregory. Missed two men. Finds Bell. Preston's outside him. I don't think they'll stop Preston. No, they have done. But it appeared from here a trip, and the referee has given the penalty to Wigan. We'll seem to see that again.
Well, let's just watch this again, because the referee has now intimated this is a sending off offence. Let's just have a look what did happen. Superb long ball by Gregory. Dean Bell takes man and ball and then passes to Preston, who comes inside. But Westwood does stick out a foot there and he goes down. And it's interesting, he has sent him from the field of play.
And John Westhead being led from the field, and that is a sad young man. Made his league debut as a 17-year-old in 1983, and he's let his side down as Wigan pile forward with Shelford. 10 yards out, Gregory again. There might be an overlap, but Hampson is nailed by Stevenson. Shelford again, but now the 12 men of Leigh have an almighty task ahead of them. Clark, Gregory, magnificent handling. Andy Goodway might get all the way. The handling was brilliant. It barely stopped in the hands on the way through. Andy Goodway was there to capitalise. 24th try this season. One of the highest scoring forwards in the game.
Well, being down to 12 men won't help, but this is a superb move. Look how he comes onto that ball on the burst, runs at an angle, fends off the full-back and goes over for a great try.
The handling leading up to Goodway's try was so brilliant, our cameraman did well to keep up with it. The Leigh defence couldn't. So it's to be Andy Gregory entrusted with the kicking duties. Doesn't take too many kicks at goal these days. And not successful on this occasion. So we can take the lead by 4-2.
Well, they're down to 12 men. There's not much hope when you have running of this nature. Just watch the way Goodway cuts across the field and goes over.
Party tackled by Gregory. last tackle, so Plant will look to kick. Hanging in the wind. Preston tried to go for it first time and might regret it. Standish picks it up. There's some men in support here. Here's Donahue. There's an overlap on the left. He goes inside. The support not arriving. There might have been a better option out to the left.
Well, he dithered and dallied then. He really should have gone on the outside and drawn the man and passed the ball. That was a golden opportunity that they'll certainly rue for the rest of this game.
The opportunities were certainly there. Then there were two men up supporting on the left.
Well, the kick bounced awkwardly for Preston. He didn't have any chance. It came in and took it here, and this is a superb pass now inside to Jason Donahue. Now, this is where he is. He doesn't quite know what to do. I think by taking the wrong option then, he threw it all away and then threw the pass to the floor, which was recovered by Gregory.
Adrian Shelford. Bell. Preston. He's so quick, this man. He might just go all the way. He's got support inside him from Goodway, doesn't need him. Now Goulding's arriving. And Goulding might go all the way, but Leigh have just kept him out, 8 yards out. Gregory, Jedburn, Hampson, and is Hampson over? He is. Leigh went one way, then the other, and they kept flinging the ball around, and the men arrived in support when they were needed. Steve Hampson's 4th try of the season.
Well, this is where we see it a bit. Bell brings him back inside Preston. It just gives him the yard of room he wants, and he just streaks outside the Leigh defence. Now he takes the ball down on the outside, but sells a dummy here. The Leigh defence have now run past him, brings it back inside to Goulding, whose third burst is brought down just short. But it's from here that they now really bring on the magic. Just look for this pass of Andy Gregory's. What a superb pass it is, right over the top. Catches the defence out completely, and Byrne feeds Hampson, who goes over in the far corner. Can't stop that.
And Goulding has taken over the kicking duties, and it just drops over. It takes Wigan in front by 8 clear points. Potter. A very effective battering ram this afternoon, Ian Potter. Donahue. Barty tries the kick for variety. How will it bounce for Hampson? It'll go dead. Can't have come in as any great surprise that Wigan have crossed the try line, because they've got a quite remarkable record of scoring points, and they've also, of course, conceded fewer points than anybody else in the First Division. That's why they are the champions they expect to be crowned this afternoon. But all credit to Leigh, with 3.5 minutes to the break. There's only 8 points in it, and they've had their chances. So far this afternoon. He's been out with injury, of course, but deemed by John Mooney to be fit enough to resume. Gregory, seen plenty of him. He's certainly fit. And he's got Goodway again in support, and Goodway might be in for his 2nd try of the afternoon. For a forward, his try-scoring record is quite sensational. 25 this season.
Well, there can't be many better scrum halves in the game. I mean, he really is mercurial. He zips round 2-3 players, comes darting down the middle, but it's not only that, it's the perfectly timed pass to Andy Goodway. Just sees him coast home.
should be a rather easier job for Bobby Goulding than the last conversion. Successful then, and successful now.
Just watch the way he dips in and out of players here. I mean, from acting half-back, that's where it's most lethal. It breaks up the whole of the defence. A superbly timed pass, just keeps good way ahead of the pack.
He's starting to look just a little bit tired, some of the Leigh players, and I think ready for the half-time break. And Jed Byrne is away, and Jed Byrne, who's played in 5 of the 7 back positions this season, plays on the right wing and scores a try. 9th try of the season, and he's such a useful player to have around because he'll play any way you ask him to and do a first-class job.
It's Gregory yet again. I mean, the guy is incredible. He's made the half break, and you pay your attendance money to watch tries like this, because when Byrne takes the inside pass, the defence can do nothing about it, and that's all he has to do, is keep running.
One of several former Wigan St Patrick's men in the Wigan team, Jed Byrne. Bobby Goulding adds the 2 points. And that takes what we expect. The half-time score to 22 points to 2 in Wigan's favour.
Just look at this. I mean, he's put it inside to Jed Byrne, and this is power, this is pace, when the defence chasing him, but it's a fruitless task.
And the half-time hooter sounds, the end of a half that began so promisingly for Leigh, but in the end, Wigan's power began to tell, particularly after Leigh lost John Westhead sent off. So the half-time scoreboard shows 2 tries for Andy Goodway and 1 each for Hampson and Byrne. The substitute Bobby Goulding with 3 goals and just the 1 early goal from Alan Platt for Leigh. So the half-time score, Wigan 22, Leigh 2. We'll be back with the second half. Welcome back to Central Park. Wigan 22 points to 2 in front at half-time, and certainly the Leigh team talk would have been interesting to hear. Alex Murphy with a major job to get his men to believe that they can still come back and surprise Leigh. Well, let's hear from the man himself now. He's on the touchline with Bob Longhall.
It's all about trying, isn't it? It's all about commitment, and I think the lads will give 40% effort. We can't ask no more than that.
40 minutes to go, do you honestly believe they can do it?
Give a chance. Where there's hope, there's life.
Thanks very much.
Well, where there's hope, there's life, maybe, but certainly the hope will be minimal, I think, in Leigh hearts if they're honest with themselves, but they will certainly give their all if the first half is anything to go by. Plant trying to get the ball away in the tackle, can't do so. Dunn. Plant's kick. Hampson finds the ball running away from him and just gets there before Jeffrey. Bell. Preston's come inside, looking for more work. Let's just have a look at the facts and figures of the first half. Only 6 scrums, and Wigan took 4 to 2, and the only one against the head. Penalty count about average, and Wigan just conceding the 2 more. Leigh not able to capitalise fully on them, and errors in play, that's commendably low really for a match of this importance. Just 1 more by Wigan. Lee Gregory kicks in a Wigan team that has Gildart back in the action in place of Phil Clark.
think that says it all, because their plan obviously now is to tackle everything that moves as far as Leigh is concerned, knowing that they've got to come out the second half and produce something, and I think John Mooney's anticipating that by bringing Gildart back on.
John Mooney always thinking about the best option, never prepared to take any chances, and certainly he's not going to assume that we're going to have got this match won. Stevenson. Potter. Leigh have clearly decided that the little grubber kick forward is a useful tactic in the second half. It's not achieving anything very dramatic for them, but it's gaining 10, 15 yards on that occasion. You wouldn't argue with them, would you? Goulding. Tackled by Platt. Andy Gregory. Joe Byrne. It's a useful break. There's not much cover. Goulding's arrived. A little bit careless. Got away with it to Bell. But the hand of Stevenson there regained possession for Leigh, or at any rate took possession away from Wigan. But it was an impressive burst.
Well, you sense all the time the apprehension of the crowd that something's got to happen, and Jen Bird makes it happen here by slicing through the defence. Now he's got to try and link up with people with the defence racing back against him, but he does just that. When the ball goes out here, Goulding takes it. Dean Bell's pass back was knocked forward. A large scramble then for the line, but it wasn't to be, and Leigh dropped out behind the post.
Platt's kick. Bouncing nicely for Hampson. Bell. Gregory. Shelford. Such a strong man, the New Zealand test forward. Well, I wonder what's going through the minds of Alex Murphy and his colleagues on the Leigh bench just at the moment. Alex, of course, is known. Great success. Not this time. Bobby Goulding's in. Wigan have another try, and yet again a John Mooney substitution is paying handsome dividends.
Well, they've got the wind against them, but it doesn't stop them running strongly into it, and this Wigan side opening up. Of course, Leigh down to 12 men really have little chance when the defence is split in the middle like that.
Bobby Goulding adds the 2 points to the 4 he's just scored and takes Wigan into a 26-point lead. There's no way back from there. Leigh are making a substitution down on the touchline. Tim Street is bringing his considerable physical presence to the proceedings, an old friend of Scrumdown. And if anybody can make his mark in 15 minutes, Tim Street will certainly try to. But at the moment it's Wigan making their mark again with Preston. Can they get him out into the touch before he gets to the corner? They've done so. The flag is up, and Mark Preston foiled on this occasion.
Well, one against the head here. Andy Gregory picks it up and straight away zooms at the short side. A superb time pass to Preston, who's obviously anticipating it, who takes it on the outside. Now, can his sheer speed get him in the corner? No, it can't.
They awarded a penalty for yet another scrimmaging infringement by Wigan, and I would have thought that John Money, thorough that he is, might just have a word or two to say about that. Rafati, and here's Tim Street, and Wigan will know he's been around. Cottrell is the other substitute. 38 years old, Tony Cottrell, the oldest man apart from Jeff Gratian still playing professional rugby league. Here's Alan Platt, who's a bit younger. Jason Donohue's a lot younger. And a chance for Mick Round to run. They get the ball inside to Jeffrey. They uses that sidestep again. And Andy Gregory and Bobby Goulding are there. Chances here though for Leigh maybe with Platt, Donohue, Tim Street. And Dean Bell was hanging on to one of the most substantial ankles on the field. Leigh are going to run the penalty. Potter. And he's only, what, about 2 yards away. And here comes Street. Still a couple of yards out. Donohue. Still holding on. A couple more tackles to go. Rafati did well to pick that up. Donohue, and can Platt get over? Yes, he can. His arm was just long enough, and I think when everybody gets up we'll find Alan Platt under there. If his arm had been any shorter he'd never have made it. That's his 4th try of the season.
Well, it's the first considered effort that all the passes have been given and taken properly. And Leigh are now stretching the Wigan defence. And Platt can't shrug off the tackler, but he does lunge over for the try.
If there's any doubt in the Wigan minds as to whether that was a try or not, the Scrumdown camera showed it quite clearly. So, just like Bobby Goulding a few moments ago, Alan Platt has the chance to score 6 points all on his own. 4 so far. Bobby Goulding's kick was a little easier than this. And it drifts past. But nonetheless, Leigh deserved their try. They've cut the deficit to 28 points to 6.
Well, just watch Rafati, who's played well all afternoon. He's taken some of these quick taps, gone for the Wigan defence at his most vulnerable, but gets the ball out this time, and Platt goes over for the try.
And Ellery Hanley is back in the action with 9 minutes to make his contribution, and you wouldn't bet against him making quite a substantial contribution in 9 minutes, would you? Stevenson. Chance for Round to run. And he's got a jinking little run. Round. We're inside the final 7 minutes of the action. Donahue, Rapati, Street. Donahue, Cottrell, looking for support and finds it from Potter, and the other substitute, Street, is there. And the fresh pairs of legs are making their presence told, although how fresh Tony Cottrell's legs are at 38. Says he likes playing against Jeff Gratian, he's the only rugby player he can say old man to. Donahue, Rapati. That's an enormous pass which Cottrell held on to, 38 or not. And here's Ellery Hanley. Can't get round the first tackle though, which was from Round. Hampson. Still going Hampson. Finally, Cottrell and Donahue nailed him. Andy Gregory. Chances again for Wigan. Will Henley get on the end of it? Ellery Hanley has been on the field about 2.5 minutes, and he's in for the try that will seal Wigan's championship. Maybe only his 9th try of the season, but I think he enjoyed it. Certainly they enjoyed it.
Well, they're hard-pressed to defend now, and Wigan are moving the ball about. Look at the way this pass brings Jed Byrne into the picture again. He's been so good at exploiting those short passes from Andy Gregory. Betts is up on the outside, and who else but appears but Ellery Hanley himself, and majestically pushes off one and strides to the post.
His capacity for getting on the end of passes like that is quite extraordinary. Goulding's kick, successful again. Wigan lead 34 points to 6. Leigh are heading for the second division, and Wigan are heading for their second championship since the Division 1 was formed in 1973. Ellery Hanley, is he going to get his second try? He isn't, because the referee has blown. And I think Ellery knew it. And the hooter goes and confirms that Ellery Hanley and Wigan are the champions of the Rugby League for 1989-90. The second successive 20,000 crowd have come to watch Wigan's triumph. And it's a triumph they've deserved. They love their rugby here at Central Park. As Bobby Goulding, who's played such a great part in it. Handshakes from Andy Goodway, who did so well. And there's Alex Murphy there, who was once the coach here himself. Today he's the defeated coach. So the final score, 34 points to 6 to Wigan. Ellery Hanley leads his men up the Central Park steps for the moment they've been working for. 28 games since the season began. The end of last summer. There's David Howes on the right, the Rugby League's marketing official, and Phil Clayton, the managing director of Bass Northwest, hands over the trophy to Ellery Hanley. There's John Money with him. They take the salute they've thoroughly earned from the Central Park crowd. John Money, great moment for him. He's had great triumphs with Parramatta in Australia, and now he's proved he can do it in England too. So the hard facts and figures: 2 tries for Andy Goodway, 1 each for Hampson, Byrne, Goulding and Hanley, 5 goals for Robbie Goulding, sealing Wigan's final victory of their championship season by 34 points to 6. Let's hear from David Watkins, who was the man of the match in that performance.
Well, my Stone's Bit of the Man of the Match award this afternoon goes to Andy Gregory. His first half performance said it all. A will-o'-the-wisp at scrum half, his jinking running and superb passes, short or long, makes life difficult for the best of defences. Well, Andy, you've left at the last game of the season, but it's been well worth it.
It was, yeah. We got to this stage last season and unfortunately we lost. We were determined before the game not to, throw it away. This time I think it's been a tremendous effort from the lads. Not just today, but the 10 months we've been trying for the trophy, and we're just glad to pick it up. And we've still got quite a bit to aim for this season, so I think we'll have a few celebrations tonight, and then get back to the Premiership and thinking about Wembley.
Well, congratulations, Andy, and congratulations, Wigan.
Thanks.
We've played some good rugby league throughout the season. We've played some ordinary rugby league. We've struggled at times, but being able to coach a club where you can have the good blend of youth and experience, it's made my job much easier, and it's helped the younger players come through.
Well, you certainly have done your job here, and I mean, Wembley is the next step, obviously, and the players said one step at a time. How do you fare, do you think, now, as far as Wembley is concerned?
Well, we've never looked too far ahead. We've always looked to our next game and said, well, if we take care of the hard work week by week, the rewards will be there for the club at the end. And I turn a lot of the emphasis back onto the players to produce their best, and I require the best effort every week, and they've given me that throughout the season. It's been a long, tough season for the players, and they've given me their best week in and week out, and they've received some of the rewards now, and Wembley is probably the next step.
Well, you've certainly set the standards anyway for rugby league, and congratulations to you and the team.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.